The New York Mets have yet taken another blow to their pitching staff as one of our best young arms, Christian Scott, has hit the IL with a UCL sprain. Plus, the Mets have already started buying here at the trade deadline as they have signed a lefty-hitting outfielder that's not going to have to travel far away from where he is already here in New York State. And other Mets moves being made down in the minor leagues that could be crucial for them here in the dog days of August and September. I'm going to give a full breakdown of everything that's going on here in Mets world. But before I get started, Grimace is telling you to subscribe. So why you haven't already, we have no idea. Me and Flobo Boys have been on top of everything so far here news-wise for the Mets. And especially with the July 30th trade deadline coming around, we are going to be on top of things, just hitting the record button constantly between us two, making these videos for you guys and keeping up to date with everything. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all things Mets related. And we will get started here as Jackie Bradley Jr. has had his contract purchased by the New York Mets to be reporting to AAA Syracuse to play with the Syracuse Mets. But before, he was playing with the Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic Coast League, where he was hitting around 400 and had a 1200 OPS with 12 home runs and about 35 RBI. So he was going crazy for Long Island. And, he has more than deserved an opportunity in the MLB once again. As like I said before, he will be reporting to AAA Syracuse. Remember, Jackie Bradley Jr. is a World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox. And his last MLB action came with the Kansas City Royals, where he was just hitting around 113 and with only one home run with a very subpar defense. Hence why the Royals DFA'd him during the 2023 season. So this signing comes after... we are coming around the July 30th trade deadline, and we have heard nothing about Starling Marte and his recovery process. Carlos Mendoza said before, his last comment about him was that we don't know when he's going to be back, and there have been no reports of him continuing any sort of baseball activity whatsoever. So, with a lot of guys in the outfield like Harrison Bader, Brandon Nimmo, DJ Stewart, Jeff McNeil, getting a lot of burn out there in the outfield, some guys are going to need some rest sooner or later. So this depth signing comes with, the dog days of, like I always say, in August and September coming around. So hopefully Jackie Bradley Jr. can prove himself in AAA and show that he is ready for some major league action once again and will be up with the New York Mets sooner or later. But moving on here, it can never all be bright, right? It can't be bright in Mets land, as, like I said in the intro, Christian Scott has been placed on the IL with a UCL sprain. Remember, he is our number 7 or 8 prospect, making his rookie season, and this is not good at all, as he has looked despite his stats, which we will take a look at right now. What shows right here on paper, on the screen, is not telling of the season that Christian Scott has been having. He has looked really good, to say the least. His last start, he only went 4 innings, and he was pulled right after he gave up a 3-run homer to Jazz Chisholm, which is why his ERA is so up. But he has made his 9 starts. He's 0-3 right now. And it's been unfortunate for him, to say the least, so far for Christian Scott, because he has been actually pitching very well. His stuff has looked very good. His fastball's topping out at around 97 miles an hour, and he can throw that thing way up in the zone for some swing and misses. And especially with the 1200 whip too, that slider's looking really nasty as well. It has a lot of bend to it. This really hurts. This really hurts a lot. Maybe not as much as a UCL sprain, but it does hurt to see Christian Scott go down. And should you be concerned about this? Yeah, probably, because anytime you see the 3 letters UCL in an injury report, it can never be good. But he did just go for his MRI right now, and doctors are reading his results right now. So hopefully reports will come out in the next few hours or maybe tomorrow about what the deal is with Mr. Scott, and Alex Young has been called up to replace him. So who's going to replace him in the rotation? Well, like I said in my last video, Kodai Senga is on his way back to pitch Friday against the Atlanta Braves. So we will be seeing our all-star ace back in action soon. Of course, Tyler McGill is always ready to make a start, as well as David Peterson too, who has looked good so far to start this season. But yeah, so Christian Scott, get well soon. We need you back as soon as possible. And other news besides that, besides the starting rotation, Reed Garrett has started to throw off the mound. He will continue that today, actually. And hopefully he will be back soon because that bullpen needs all the help it can get. But moving on from that, other moves made with this pitching staff, that former number 6 pick Tyler J has been traded to the Milwaukee Brewers for minor leaguer TJ Shook. Remember, Tyler J made a few appearances earlier in the season. He had about 3 of them and posted a 7.7 ERA. And at 30 years old, he was designated for assignment and then traded to the Milwaukee Brewers for 26-year-old left-hander TJ Shook, who has posted a 4.9 ERA in just 17 appearances in Double-A so far. So hopefully, these are some arms that we can see up soon as some depth pieces for the Mets coming here in the dog days of August and September. And as you see on the right-hand side, TJ Shook will be appearing probably for our Double-A Binghamton Mets sooner or later. And other moves being made in the minor leagues as well, as Cole Sulser, who was up with the Mets earlier in the season as well, was DFA'd for a minor league catcher. I'll get to that in a second. Sulser had a 9.64 ERA with the Mets in 4 appearances, so not good to say the least. And he was DFA'd and outrighted, and he ended up being replaced by Logan Porter, who is a 29-year-old catcher from formerly with the Kansas City Royals, who played 11 games with them last year and had about 4 home runs and 1 home run and about 4 RBIs with the Kansas City Royals, and he will probably be reporting to our AAA Syracuse Mets as well, as he has had previous major league action as well. And these are all moves being made. The Mets are going to be clearing up spots. They're going to be making all of these moves here so that, once this deadline comes and they start selling off pieces for prospects, they start bringing in pieces, they can fit all of these guys into their roster spots. So it's like guys like Tyler J, who's former number 6 pick. If you guys remember, he had that very emotional interview after he found out he was getting DFA'd, and finding out or telling that his daughters that dad never quits. It sucks to see stuff like this, but to say the least, Tyler J, we wish you the best of luck. Cole Sulser, wish you the best of luck. But they just did not perform at all for this Mets bullpen. Neither anyone else's as well, because this bullpen has been horrendous to say the least, and the Mets will definitely be addressing it here at this July 30th trade deadline. Like I said before, me and Flobo Boys will have coverage for you guys on all the things Mets, trades, roster news, signings, IL placements, whatever it may be. We will be covering that for you guys here on Mets Digest. And that is all I have for you guys here till the next video, where we will be covering more things about the Mets trade deadline plans. And that is really all I have for you here. Make sure you guys subscribe and to keep all up to date with things. And we will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, guys.